Hello everyone. This is Guru Charan Das, Adepu lecturer in Management Government Degree College, Siddipet Autonomous. Welcome to Organizational Behavior class of BBA second semester. Today I am going to speak about the introduction to OB. Right. First we will discuss meaning and definition of organizational behavior. Organizations are social systems. People who are responsible for managing them need to understand how they operate, right? Organizations are a combination of science and people, technology and humanity. Unless there are qualified people to design and implement, the techniques alone will not produce desirable results. You must remember that. Human behavior in an organization is quite unpredictable. It is generally concerned with the thoughts, feelings, emotions, and actions of people working in it. Right? However, it can be partially understood in terms of framework of behavioral science, management, and other disciplines. There is no idealistic solution to organizational problems. Right? That's why it is rightly said that the success of an organization depends upon the efficiency and effectiveness of the management, and the effectiveness of the management depends primarily on its human skills and how well it understands the needs and desires of people working in the organization. Right? First, the meaning of definition in this regard we'll discuss. That is, organizational behavior is a field of study that investigates the impact that individuals, groups, and organizational structures have on behavior within the organization for the purpose of applying that knowledge towards an organizational effectiveness. Okay. This definition has three elements. One is organizational behavior is an investigative study of individual and groups. The second is the impact of organizational structure on human behavior. And the third, the application of knowledge to achieve organizational effectiveness. Right? And now we'll see the definition given by Chalahan, Fleenor, and Kudson. According to them, organizational behavior is a subset of management activities concerning with understanding, predicting, and influencing individual behavior in organizational setting. Another definition given by Raman J. Aldag. Organizational behavior is a branch of social sciences that seeks to build theories that can be applied predicting, understanding, and controlling behavior in work organizations. Right? Another definition given by Newstom and Davis, according to them, organizational behavior is the study and application of knowledge about how people act within an organization. It is a human tool for human benefit. It applies broadly to the behavior of people in all type of organizations. Right? Now, the another definition given by Freehand, Fred Luthans will discuss now. Okay, that is organizational behavior is directly concerned with the understanding, production, and control of human behavior in organizations. This is the definition given by Fred Luthans. Another definition given by Mr. Stephens P. Robbins. Organizational behavior is a field of study that investigates the impact that individuals, groups, structure have on behavior within the organizations for the purpose of applying such knowledge towards improving an organization effectiveness. Right. Now we'll see characteristics of OB. Okay. One is we have 8 characteristics we are going to discuss about organizational behavior, and we will discuss each and every character in detail. First one is behavioral approach to management. Organizational behavior is the part of all management which represents the behavioral approach to management. Right? Organizational behavior has emerged as a distinct field of study because of the importance of human behavior in organization. And the second character is cause and effect relationship. Human behavior is generally taken in terms of cause and effect relationships and not in philosophical terms. We never consider them in philosophical terms. Generally, we will taken in terms of cause and effect relationship, right? And it helps in predicting the behavior of individuals. It provides generalizations that that managers can use to anticipate the effect of certain activities on human behavior. And the third character is that organizational behavior is a branch of social science, right? According to which organizational behavior is heavily influenced by several other social sciences, namely psychology, sociology, and anthropology. It draws a rich array of research from these disciplines which we have discussed so far, that is psychology, sociology, and anthropology. Fourth characteristic is that 3 levels of analysis. Organizational behavior encompasses the study of the 3 levels of analysis, namely individual behavior, inter-individual behavior, and the behavior of organizations themselves. The field of organizational behavior embraces all these levels as being complementary to each other. And the fifth is a science as well as an art, right? Organizational behavior is a science as well as an art. The systematic knowledge about human behavior is a science, and the application of behavioral knowledge and skills is an art, right? And another characteristic is sixth one, a body of theory, research, and application. Organizational behavior consists of a body of theory, research, and application, which helps in understanding the human behavior in organization. All these techniques help the manager to solve human problems in organization, right? Seventh characteristic is that beneficial to both organizations and individuals. Organizational behavior creates an atmosphere where both organization and individuals are benefited by each other. A reasonable climate is created so that employees may get much needed satisfaction and the organizations may attain its objectives, right? And the another last one is rational thinking is the last characteristic. Organizational behavior provides a rational thinking about people and their behavior. The major objective of organizational behavior is to explain and predict human behavior in organizations so that result yielding situations can be created. Right, now we will discuss factors influencing organizational behavior. There are 4 elements that are considered key elements, we call them as that explains the scope of organizational behavior. One is people, and the other is structure, third one is technology, and fourth one is environment. We will discuss in detail about this. People first we'll see. Organizations are run by people, and people make up internal social system of the organization, right? People consist of individuals and groups. The groups may be large groups as well as small groups, formal and informal groups, official and unofficial groups may be present. Groups are dynamic in nature, means they change frequently, right? That's why we call them as dynamic in nature. They are formed, changed, reformed, and disbanded. Sometimes we may disband them, right? People though have much in common, they differ from each other, right? There can be no set of scientific formula of dealing with human beings, because the nature of human beings are dynamic in nature. Managers have to deal with employees with their individual differences. People are unique in their behavior, hence managers have to deal with employees with their individual differences only, right? We should always remember that the several organizations, for the survival of organizations depends upon serving their people and keeping them happy, right? In managing people, the managers have to deal with, one is individual employees who are expected to perform the tasks allocated to them. Second is dyadic relationships, such as superior subordinate relationship, which we may call them as dyadic relationships. And third is groups who work as team and have the responsibility for getting the job done. And fourth is people outside the organization system, such as customers and government officials. We don't have control over them, right? People of today are not the same of people of yesterday or the day before. We know that they are changing because influenced by the external system. A new labor force has emerged, and the management must change its leadership practices to match the new challenges, right? Some of the latest changes in labor force, okay, we will discuss now. One is decline in the work ethics. What we will see, decline in the work ethics. There is a lot of, okay, declining we will see in the work ethics. Okay, raising what we call it as rising emphasis on leisure, self-expression, fulfillment, and personal growth. Right? People have become self-oriented. Right? Decline in automatic acceptance of authority. People are not willingly accepting the authority. Okay, there is a decline in automatic acceptance of it. Earlier, that was not so. They were automatically accepted the authority, but it is not so in modern era, right? Increase in the desire for participation, autonomy, and control. Okay, there is a increase in the desire for participation. People wants to involve. People wants to participate. That desire was increased in autonomy and control. Very fast, absolute sense of skills due to technology advancement. Okay, if you have learned something, that will be no more useful, because introduction of new technology, the skills that you have gained are no more useful. Okay, very fast obsolescence of skills we will see. And retaining or retrenchment of manual workers. It's not an easy task to retaining and retrenchment of manual workers that will we will find in the labor force, right? Increased concerns for security due to downsizing and outsourcing. Okay, increased concerns for security. Nowadays, okay, organizations are adopting outsourcing and system through the downsizing the employment. Okay, that will create a lot of issues such as security. A renewed emphasis on the money as a motivator. Okay, people how they are motivated. There are different types of motivational factors that we have discussed in the marketing basics of marketing in the first semester. Of course, nowadays we will see the best motivator as money. Okay, a renewed emphasis on money as a motivator is being raised. The change we will find in the people, right? And now another one is structure. Organizations are social systems. In every organization, two types of social systems exist. One is formal and the another is informal. The formal relationship of people in organizations is called structure. Different jobs are required to accomplish the goals and objectives of the organizations, right? Different people perform these different jobs at a different level. These people have to be related in some structural way so that their work can be effectively coordinated. These relationships create complex problems of cooperation, negotiation, and decision making for the managers. The organizational structure are also changing with the passage of time. As we have discussed that this world is a dynamic world, nothing can be stable, right? Everything changes. In the same manner, the organizational structures are also changing with the passage of time. Nowadays, the recent trends is flatter and longer organizations, okay, which we have discussed in the name of vertical and horizontal systems. To lower the cost and to survive in the global competitive environment, the organizations have to resort to downsizing and restructuring. Okay, by downsizing the structure, they want to reduce the cost in order to overcome the cutthroat competition, right? Some companies are adopting mergers, acquisitions, and joint ventures. Okay, make the structures even more complex. Of course, they want to optimize their performance. They even more make their structures even more complex when we adopt mergers, acquisitions, joint ventures, right? Organizations are moving from traditional structure to team-based structures, right? Several organizations are experimenting with part-time, temporary, and contract employees, okay, to reduce their costs. And the third element, key element, is that technology. Technology provides the resources with which people work and affect the task that they perform. Right? Generally, we want to improve our performance, right, through technology. Improve our output. Right? The type of technology used in the organization has a very significant influence on the working relationship among individuals and groups. Right? A major benefit of technology is that it allows people to do more work, and that too in a better way. If you have a tool, generally you will perform more work. Technology also uh, provide the same. Right? On the other hand, it also restricts people in many ways. Managers nowadays are under tremendous pressure to maintain the delicate balance between technology and social systems. Okay, people are not what we call it as in a position to innovate the technological changes into organizations because they may have a threat of losing the job. Okay, that's why it's not an easy task to introduce a new technology to the organization. We need to make the people who are working for the organization, okay, acclimatize to the new technology. In that manner, we need to train them also. And the another key element is that environment. No organization can exist in vacuum. Okay, no organization can exist in vacuum. All the organizations have to operate, okay, within an internal and an external environment. Right, we have discussed what are internal and external environments in the basics of marketing class also. And an organization is a part of larger system that contains other elements such as government, the family, the society, and other organizations. In the world, you will find different countries, different states. In the same manner, okay, all organizations have to operate within the internal and external environment. Right? An organization is the part of large system that contains other elements. Government, we know that. Family, society, organizations. All of these elements mutually influence one another. Government will impose taxes. Okay, we need to pay those taxes. Okay, as a rule abiding citizen, we must pay the taxes. We must, okay, uh, follow the rules and regulations framed by the government. Organizations are influenced to a large extent by the external environment. Environment influences the attitudes of people, affects working conditions, and provide competition for resources and power. Organization is thus the effect for which environment is the cause. Right? We need to adjust according to changes to place in the external environment. Hence, environment also becomes a key element in the study of organizational behavior. Right? We can sum up some important factors that influence organizational behavioral. Okay, one is individual behavior, personality, perception, attitude, values, culture. People are unique in their behavior because of differences in their perception, differences in their personality, differences in the individual behavior, differences in the attitudes, differences in the values. Right? That's why we need to consider these as important. Right? One is leadership traits, communication and alignment. Okay, some people have leadership traits. They can be trained. Okay, communication and alignment. People, some eloquently communicate. Okay, they align with others. Organizational goals also important factors that influence organizational behavior. Right, mission, vision of the organization, and objectives of the organization. Right, are important factors. Organizational culture and values. Okay, the culture and values make, okay, to achieve the organizational objectives in an easy manner. Interpersonal relationships, organizational structure, environment, economic, social, political, and legal, okay, environments also. Technology, it changes, it's a dynamic, okay, key element. Okay, it is also the firm has to put an eye on this in order to know the changes that took place and make adjustment in the organization. And the organization changes itself, okay, important, that will influence the organizational behavior. Now we'll discuss goals of BV. What are the goals of OB, organizational behavior. Okay. Um, One is describe. The major goals of organizational behavior is describe. The first objective of OB is to describe systematically how people behave under a variety of conditions. If the manager can achieve this goal that is described, they can succeed in communicating about human behavior at work using common language. Second is understanding. The second objective of OB is to understand why people behave as they do. It will be highly frustrating for the managers, okay, if they see the behavior of their employees, okay, talk about that, but not understand the reason behind those acts, why they are behaving like that. They can't understand. Okay, they can't understand. The managers have to learn to probe the underlying explanations why they are behaving like that. Okay, they must understand. Right? That is what we call it as understand. And the other is predict. The third objective of organizational behavior is to predict the future of employee behavior, future employee behavior, how they behave in the future. Of course, we know that this is a dynamic world and it ever changes. Okay, there is a lot of uncertainty. This is a very important job of manager to predict how a particular employee will behave in a particular situation. Right? It is not an easy task. Example, who are the employees who will send their leaves on days which are supposed to be hectic or difficult. Right? If the managers succeed in this objective, they can take preventive actions. If you can able to predict the right future of employee behavior, certainly you will succeed in that task, right? And another is control. The final objective of organizational behavior is control. At least to some extent, the human activity at work, managers have to improve the performance through actions they and their employees take, and we can help them in pursuing of their goals. Okay, organizational behavior can help them in the pursuing their goals by controlling them in an appropriate manner, right? And next is historical development of organizational behavior.